All right, what's up my brothers? In this video we're doing a automotive review. You guys seem to like the one I did last on the electric car, and many of you asked me to do more, so I stole my brother's Range Rover Sport for a week, and I've made a comprehensive list, as I did with the Tesla, of pros and cons and things that I liked and disliked about it. You guys seem to like that stuff, so here we go. If you guys enjoy this, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to steal some more cars from other people and hold on for a week and give you guys some honest feedback and reviews. I try to use it as an owner, you know what I mean? Like I'll take it out, I'll get groceries with it, I'll run errands with it. I use it as it should be used. A lot of automotive reviewers I find just have them for a few days, or they just sort of like do the standard walk around. I'm going to tell you what sucks and doesn't suck about this car. All right, so let's get started. Cons. So first thing, it was not something that I expected would be a con of a beautiful looking luxury SUV like this. And it was, my friends immediately made fun of me. They said it's not an HSE, it's a Range Rover Sport, and you basically get called a bitch. They say, oh, you know, I bought one of those for my wife, or that's not the one you want, Rich, you know, you want like the big boy one sort of thing. So it immediately, you know, when my friends mocked me, I was like, okay, let's just jot that down because that's something that's important. A lot of people don't think about that. Range Rover Sport, apparently it's for your wife, or you can't afford the HSE. Next thing that sucked on this car was the rear lift gate is far, far too low. I banged my head in it several times. You know, a little locking mechanism that goes into the trunk area where you load and unload your groceries or whatever it is that you have on the back. It's poorly designed, and it's at the absolute wrong ride height. Now, maybe because this car is for your wife and she's probably not as tall as you, that won't be a problem. But if you're a dude looking for a baller vehicle that's comfortable, reasonably priced, you're probably going to run into problems with it. I couldn't find a way to fix it. I didn't see any adjustment options for it. You just really have to watch out for it, because otherwise you'll end up either cutting or bonging your head. Before I continue, I should mention this isn't a new vehicle review, obviously, because it's my brother's car. It's a used vehicle. It's a 2019, and it has 80,000 kilometers on it. You can do the transition over to miles if you want. Carrying on, the start-stop button. I wrote this down because it's relevant. I can't reach it. I have to lean forward to hit it to get the start-stop button on, or to turn off the vehicle. I don't know why they put it up here. That's a stupid design feature, in my opinion. Should be somewhere down here, or maybe in this part of the dashboard. But for whatever reason, the British engineers, some guy named Todd that came in drunk on a Monday after sitting at the pub all night, said, let's stick it way out of arm's reach so we can't get to it. Next thing, comfort access doesn't work. So I have the keys in my pocket. Most modern vehicles in this price category, it's a $160,000 vehicle, brand new here in Canada. I think my bro spent $55 for it, he said, when he got it. He's only had it for 3-4 months, so it's reasonably new to him anyway. But comfort access doesn't work. What that is, that, you know, if you don't know, you usually walk up to the vehicle and it'll unlock automatically. Or in some brands, you walk up to the vehicle and you put your hand on the handle and it detects the key in your pocket and your hand on the handle and unlocks the car for you. None of those features work. It doesn't matter which handle you touch on the car, you have to push the button to lock and unlock the car. Is it a big deal? If you want a baller looking car, probably not. You're not going to care about it. But for me, it's a pain in the ass, because I often walk into the car, I've got I got my drink, I got my cell phone, I got my camera to record stuff with. I'm usually carrying a lot of stuff, and then I got to fiddle around to get the key out of my pocket. You can see how it can become problematic for some people. Next thing, window controls. I just don't like where they are. They have them up over here, and I think they should be down over here where most car manufacturers put them. Again, I know the British like to do things differently, and that's fine, but this is a bizarre place. I don't know, maybe you get used to them being here and you're driving around like this, and you can open and close the windows as you sort of go. Your hand naturally falls where they're at. It just doesn't feel natural or normal to have window control buttons there. Next one, fuel economy is absolutely abysmal. This has a supercharged V8. I believe it's 518 horsepower. Don't know what the torque number is. It's fast, makes a lot of noise. You'll hear it. This car is actually straight piped. Go ahead. So you hear a lot of noise once we hit the road and get driving, once I'm gone through my list over here. But the fuel economy, even if you want to be a miser driving it like a granny, you will probably do no better than about 12 and a half liters per 100 kilometers, which is about 18 and a half miles to the gallon. And in regular driving, you're probably closer to like 12 miles to the gallon, maybe like 18 liters per 100 kilometers. If you want a fuel efficient vehicle, this ain't it. Oh, next thing I wrote down over here was armrest handle does nothing. I don't get this. So you can see over here, it's got a little knob, and you turn it, and I don't know why they have an armrest handle here for the driver, because you have the center arm box, which is more than adequate and very comfortable. And then they give you this thing over here, which I don't know what it's for, because your arm doesn't go anywhere near it. You basically have to sit like this, and I don't know who would drive like that. Maybe it's because I'm bigger and I'm a man and these cars are made for wives, but that's what I feel. It's just weird. And then this knob over here, I have no idea what it's supposed to do. It does nothing. I've tried to adjust it 6 ways to Sunday, and I don't notice anything different in the seat and the armrest. I have no idea what it does. It's a completely bizarre and useless knob, but there you go. Somebody in the comments right now will correct me and say, oh, the knob's for this or that or the other thing, but there you have it. By the way, some of you guys might be asking about this jacket right now. This is a beautiful custom-made jacket I had from Heinz Bauer. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'll leave a link below. Stefan sent it over to me. He's been a fan of the channel, so I hope you guys like it. You can grab one for yourself. This one is called the Speedster. A nice little liner on the inside with car racing memorabilia and stuff like that. Next one, key not detected 3 times. I wrote it down 3 times here on my con list. Key not detected in car, key not detected in car. You get a warning light, you have to okay to clear it, sort of thing. Strangely though, even though it doesn't detect the key in the car, you can still drive it. So I'm not really sure what that's about, but maybe it's just a British quirk and feature of the Range Rovers. Next thing, fake wood. I can't tell you how much I despise fake wood in an automobile. Like, car manufacturers have been doing this for a while. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know who they think they're fooling. It's absolutely absurd and ridiculous, especially, I mean, if you're going to a dealer and you're spending $160,000 for a brand new vehicle and it's got some fake wood inserts, you can see them down over here in front of the armrest. You can see them around the, I think these are the seat memory controls, 1, 2, 3, 4M. They're also in this door panel over here, which is a nice storage box, total plastic, and around the vents. The dashboard's all red leather, but fake wood sucks. Car manufacturers, if you're watching this video, you need to stop putting fake wood in your shit. It's ridiculous, it's disgusting, it's embarrassing to be in a vehicle with fake wood. Either put real wood in or put some other insert around there, leather trim, just extend the dashboard. I don't know, it looks awful. You guys tell me what you think in the comments below. Steering wheel, I put steering wheel buttons look gay. So you've got these two, I don't know how to describe them other than they look like a 1999 or a 2003, whenever the first iPod came out with the touch screen controls. And it's a screen with a plastic cover over it, and you've got up, down, enter, and then there's a few things over here for heated steering wheel and a few other things. It doesn't look too bad when it's off, but when it's on, it just looks cheap. It reduces, in my opinion, the panache and the league of vehicle that this is supposed to be in. It just looks out of place. I don't know who designed that, but it's horrible in my opinion. Next thing we noticed is water drips on you off the tailgate if it's raining. I've never seen this on any other vehicle. Like, you normally get under the tailgate and you don't get wet if it's a rainy day, or if you've taken it to the car wash and you open it up. They, like most manufacturers, I mean, I normally drive German cars. Most manufacturers have channels and ports to sort of drain rainwater or car wash water out of the way. For some reason, Range Rovers, or in this particular model anyway, you have to take a shower. It's kind of frustrating, but this is the first vehicle that I've ever driven where you open the tailgate and you actually get wet if it's a rainy day when you're under the tailgate. Oh, next thing I got here, steering wheel heater. It's weird. So it has a heated steering wheel. You push a button over here and the vast majority of the steering wheel is heated, with the exception of a metal surround that they put all around this part of the steering wheel, which faces me. So when you turn it on, nice, it gets nice and warm, but as soon as the palms of your hand touch this part of the steering wheel, or you put your thumbs up over here or something like this, this is ice cold. So I parked this in the driveway. It's still cold here, you know, this time of year in Canada. Sometimes there's frost on the windshield. This metal gets very cold when it's cold out, and you have this weird contrast, which is unpleasant, of warm, rich leather, but a freezing cold metal ring that goes around it. Like, somebody at Range Rover should have put some more thought into that, but there you have it. Con I jotted down over here is there's really nothing sporty about this in my opinion. My 5-seater German Audi sport utility vehicle would blow the doors off this in every way possible on a racetrack, handling, probably braking, and definitely acceleration. But I'll do a proper review on my own SUV at some point if you guys ask for one in this video. It's the one that I make all my videos in. If you're new to the channel, browse the channel. If you're a dude, you definitely want to spend some time here. You're going to learn something. Next con I jotted down over here. Oh, this is another strange one. Again, I don't know if it's just a quirk of Range Rover or British automobiles, but to move through the gears, like normally you're going to go reverse, and then in most cars you grab the handle and you just pull back and you go drive and you drive off. But in this particular vehicle, you have to push this trigger button to go reverse, which you normally do in most cars, and then you have to push the trigger button again to put it in drive. strange feature. I'm not sure why they would do that, because you really only have two options, reverse or drive, because it's not automatic. I just jotted it down because I thought it was bizarre. I've never had to do that. I found myself going, reverse and then pulling back to drive, and then it's still in neutral and I'm not going, and I'm like, what the hell? Then I'd go again, drive, and it's still in neutral. And I'm like, what's up with this car? My car doesn't do that. Push the button, pull it back. Oh, now we're moving in drive. Last one I've got here is there's no backup lines in the camera screen to reverse. So this is a relatively new vehicle. It's got lots of screens. They're all very nice. But when you put it in reverse to back up, most vehicles that have a backup camera, as you turn the wheel, you'll see lines sort of bend and align with where the vehicle is going to end up in that direction. I didn't really notice it or even care for it when I first had it in one of my first cars. I think the last 2 or 3 cars I've had have all had those sort of bending lines that move to sort of align you to where you're going in the parking spot. So you kind of take them for granted for a while. And then I noticed this car, it doesn't have those bending lines to tell you where you're going to go as you're turning the wheel, which is somewhat of an inconvenience, because those lines, those bending lines, actually help you align up and get into the spot. Like, I can normally back into a spot fine, turn off the vehicle, and I'm done. But I found myself in this vehicle with the absence of those alignment bendy lines, if I can put it that way. I'd take more than one stab at it, in some cases. Next one on the con list, we've got a 8 to 10 second boot up for the screens in the center. So we've got dash screen over here, which works wonderfully. We have 2 screens over here which boot up. So we've got HVAC mostly down over here with 2 circles and a volume knob and all your other stuff. And up over here you've got multiple screen displays. You can go through navigation or radio or whatever you want, but they take 8 to 10 seconds to actually boot up and do something, which is weird, because when you start up the car, you're like, start it up. In some cases, if it's warm, you just drive away right away, but you're literally waiting 8 to 10 seconds to do anything. Like, normally if I get into a vehicle cold, first thing you do is you start it up, turn on the heated seat features. There's no button for heated seat, for example. It's in this HVAC screen, and you have to push the circle in and then turn it to heat up the seats. Nothing happens for 8 to 10 seconds. So you're kind of sitting there going, 1,000, 2,000, and then eventually it boots up, and then you can, okay, now I can turn on my heated seat. Not a huge deal. It's just bizarre, slow startup procedure that I just found somewhat annoying. And the last point, actually I've got one more since we're talking about this, but the last point that I wrote down over here is that it doesn't feel that well put together. So my Audi SUV is same generation as this one, and it feels solid. That's one of the things that I like about German cars. They just feel like they're put together well. They feel solid. They drive well. I'll get into that in that review another time, but it just doesn't feel screwed together that right or that well. And I think British cars have that reputation for a reason. I haven't owned that many. I think McLaren was probably the only one, and I really like the McLaren. It was put together reasonably well for a hand-built car, but there's just something about this vehicle that doesn't feel like it's that well put together. Like, the touch points, again, it's not a new vehicle. It's got 80,000 kilometers on it, so there's been some wear on it. It's in reasonably good shape. I think it's worn well for its age, generally speaking. The seats are in good shape. The armrests are in good shape. I don't see much wear and tear, with the exception of this over there. I don't know what that is. Center arm box is in really good shape still. Even the lumbars on the seats are still in good shape. They haven't worn well, but it just doesn't feel like it's been screwed together well. There's a general weirdness about the engine, the transmission, the wheels. Now, there's curb rash on these wheels. Maybe it was somebody's wife's truck and she managed to curb the wheels, and there's something that happened in suspension. I don't know. It could be prior care, so I might be diving a little bit too deep or spending too much time on that one, but I jotted it down, so it's worth mentioning. Then the last thing, which I forgot to write down over here, is I completely forgot to write this down, but this screen here pivots. It's a very strange design. You can probably see it from the angle of the camera barely, but the screen sort of like pops out on a hinge. And while it's not really a con, it's just one of those things that you look at and you're like, why did they engineer it that way? Like, what is the point of popping it out about an inch out of the dashboard and tilting it forward? And I get that it probably gives you a decent field of view or a better field of view, but to me, you just look at it and it's like, that just looks like, why didn't they just engineer the dashboard differently so that it's recessed and it's clean and nothing has to move around? It just looks better all the time. And 2, there's nothing to break. There's no motor that's gonna, break when you pop it out. Let's get on to the good stuff, and then we will get on the road and give it a drive, and you'll hear this straight pipe monster make some noise. First pro, power, obviously. Supercharged V8, 5 liter. What's not to like? It's a British muscle machine. Listen to this. You're going to hear it when we get on the road, but I'll say that power sound, obviously, you're going to hear it when we get on the road. It sounds really good. This one's straight piped. I remember when my brother first got it and I saw it, I was like, start it up, then let's go for a drive. And I'm like, sounds pretty loud. He goes, yeah, I'm not really sure why it's that loud. So I get under the vehicle just quickly to look under the rear of it to see if maybe there's a valve that's not working on the muffler. Maybe it's a valve muffler system and something broke. And I looked under and there's no muffler. Whoever owned this vehicle before had a shop, cut the mufflers off and just basically straight pipe the thing. So it's pretty loud. There's a reasonable amount of drone when you're driving. I personally wouldn't have it, but it adds to the gangster sort of like look and appeal of this car. Like, it's a very intimidating car. When you drive down the street, women grab their children, you know, they think that you're going to drive over the curb, or like they're afraid of you, basically. It's like they turn around, they're like, oh, what's that? Men look at the car and they're like, you know, they kind of admire it. Everybody looks at this thing when you drive down the street in a straight piped Range Rover with a supercharged V8. It's cool and annoying at the same time, but I'm a sucker for petrol powered cars. That's just me. The MMI is good, so these screens work reasonably well. I didn't have any difficulty navigating, finding stuff, executing sort of stuff. Works reasonably well. I would give Range Rover 2 thumbs up for their design there. Rides well. It's got an air suspension. It does ride reasonably well. I wouldn't say better than its German rivals. In fact, I'd probably say my Audi rides a little bit better than this. It also has an air suspension, but it rides very well. Next point, which I kind of already touched on, you do feel like a boss. You feel like a boss, a gangster, pimp, champ, whatever it is, however you want to label it. You just feel cool driving a totally murdered out, blacked out Range Rover. Black wheels, black everything, tints, you know, everything. It just looks the shit. It looks better than my Audi SUV, I'll admit it, but I'm not all a looks guy. I mean, most of the time you spend in a vehicle, you're behind the steering wheel and, you know, the feel and how it drives sort of stuff. So I'm more about that. But if you want the most pimpest, boss looking SUV on the market, this is still it, especially at the price point and for the money. I think some people might argue maybe a Cadillac Escalade. That might be something. I don't really like those that much. I had one of those at one point. I think this looks really good. It's probably just about the right size. It looks intimidating. It's got this rose tinted sort of windshield that just looks almost reflective on it. It looks very classy. It's a very, very sexy automobile. I get why people like these things for the looks. It ticks that box off. 4 thumbs up. We'll just keep going with the thumbs up, you know, in the looks department. Loads and loads of storage I put. So you've got sliding trays over here, sliding cap over here. You've got this center box over here, which has a fridge, I believe. I have no idea what this is for. You can't even really put a cell phone on here. It's bizarre. So with the exception of that, lots of door storage here and here. I usually throw my house keys inside here. There's a door bin over here. There's an opening door bin over here. And there's 2 glove boxes. And unlike the stupid Teslas where there's no button, you have 2 buttons to get into your glove box. So kudos to Range Rover on storage. Oh, this is my next favorite thing, which I loved. The only other car I've ever been in was when I was living in England in my early 20s. I think they were called a Ford Mercure XR4 Ti. I'm probably butchering that, or maybe I screwed it up. But it has these little lines that go from top to bottom in the windshield. And when there's frost in the car in the morning or snow or something like that, once this boots up 8 to 10 seconds in, you can push a button and it starts to immediately defrost the entire windshield because it has little heaters in the windshield. You don't really notice it when you're driving. In fact, I didn't even notice it for the first 5 days driving the car. I only noticed it because I got up one morning and I started up and there was frost in the windshield. And I was like, okay, rear defroster, front defroster. And it didn't have a front defroster. It's got a little symbol with a squiggly line through it that looks like the front windshield, but instead of the standard fan blower like design emblem, it's got a squiggly line. I'm like, that's interesting. So I push it and I look at the windshield and I'm like, British design. That's clever. I wish more car companies, especially if you live in a cold climate, had that feature. I would imagine that that would sway people over to certain brands, especially in colder climates, because it's very convenient. I really, really like that feature. HVAC control is very clear, it's straightforward, very easy to use. I'm going to start this up and let it warm up. You'll hear the exhaust, and because it'll take 8 to 10 seconds to boot up. So, you know, here we go. It says Land Rover up here, and this screen is warming up right now. And let's wait for it to sort of switch over. It's still going. Again, it takes 8 to 10 seconds. But when it comes on, it's got multiple use dials. So these dials for temperature, fan speed, heat seaters, sync for the air conditioned cooled seats, they're all basically controlled in these dials by pushing in and switching over. So you push in, you go heated seats. I'll take some of that. Thank you very much. Let's defrost the front windshield and the rear windshield. And then if I want to increase the fan, I push the fan button, and then the other dial switches over to fan speed. which is an interesting touch. It all works well. It's fairly intuitive. I like the design. I like the design elements of it. I haven't really had any problems with it, but yeah, it's one of the pros that I kind of like. This is a nice center stack. It just works well. All right, and that's it. That's my entire, I guess, written review. Let's get on the road and do the road portion so we can talk a little bit about the car, the sound, the power, and how it drives, and you can have a little listen on the supercharged V8. I know why my brother bought this car now, honestly. It's cool. Like, that sound, and he's a petrol head too. His other car is a Jaguar convertible. Maybe I'll steal that from him and do a bit of a review on that vehicle. But it's just cool. You know, when you get into this thing and you start it up in the morning, your neighbors are probably going to hate you. But, you know, as you're driving, like I said, it's got a bit of a drone, a little bit of rumble. There's a weird undulation coming from the back of the vehicle. I told my brother about this. He didn't even notice it. I go, "Do you notice that sound at the back of the vehicle, like that undulation?" I'm not sure what that is. He goes, "No, I don't hear anything except for the exhaust." And I can now, I'm a little more attuned to cars than he is, you know, I'll say that, but I can feel it in the steering wheel. You kind of feel it in the, you know, the seat of your pants, a little bit in the pedals. It just doesn't feel like it's screwed together the best. How long does something like this drive for? I can't see you having any issues driving 200,000 kilometers without many problems, you know, just doing the regular oil changes, brake jobs, and tire changes. But it's a nice vehicle. You feel bomb in it. It's comfortable. It's got a good seating position. Everything you want to adjust the steering wheel, easy. Your hand lands on exactly where it's supposed to be. The only thing, like I said in the con list, that didn't make any sense is you have to lean forward to get to the start-stop button. And I'm not a small person. Like, I'm not somebody's wife, obviously, driving the Range Rover Sport, like the wife edition. I'm pretty tall, so I should be able to, you know, my hand should just land on the start-stop button. That's the way that I think engineers should really be designing these cars, is when you intuitively think of something start-stop, it's right there, right? Or on a Porsche, it's on this side, right? But it's like, that's how the design should be, or the design elements anyway. And I guess, you know, the British, they like to do things a little bit differently. They freeze and burn your hands at the same time. They make you wait 10 seconds to turn on your heated seats. You put your hand up here to control the windows. But it's a really nice car. Would it get my money? No. I think my Audi SUV is still better than this. And if you guys want to hear a review on that, let me know in the comments below. We'll see you guys in the next video. I hope this made sense. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.